Hola Seekers, this is Kim and bienvenidos to another timeless reading in which you will be provided with messages that you need to hear at this moment from Spirit. So just to give you a quick rundown of how this reading is going to unfold, I will begin with an intuitively channeled message and then I'll move right into the oracle cards to find out what is it that you need to hear at this moment. And to finalize the reading, I will be giving space for you to receive 3 direct messages, one coming from your spirit team, the second message coming from your higher self, and the last message, the third message, will be coming from someone who you feel called to hear from at this moment. So this could be an archangel, this could be an ancestor, or a loved one who is on the other side, or it could also be the higher self of someone who is currently incarnated in this physical 3D. Okay? So with that being said, it is time to choose your group. So as you can see, for this reading, there are 4 different groups to choose from. Starting off with group 1, we have the Star. Group 2 is being represented by a crescent moon. For group 3 is the Heart. And last but not least, we have group 4 with the Flower. So as always, take as much time as you need to choose your group. You can always pause the video if you need more time. And once you have chosen your group, then head on over to the comment section down below where the timestamps are provided so that you can skip right on over to your reading. Oh, and I do feel called to let you guys know that if you feel called to more than one group, or if you have trouble choosing between 2 groups, that is okay. It might simply mean that there is more than one message that you need to hear at this moment. So you can definitely choose more than one group. Okay, but now that you have chosen, let's get right into your messages. Let's go! Hola Seekers who chose group 1, the Star, bienvenidos to your reading. If you are interested to know how this reading is going to unfold, then I do recommend for you to listen to the intro if you haven't done so already, because it is there where I go over everything we are going to cover in this reading. I myself don't know yet how this reading is going to unfold. I haven't planned it out in terms to what decks I will be using or divination tools or how the spreads are going to look like. It's one of those readings where I'm just going with the flow. So I usually start the readings with an intuitively channeled message, but I am just going to move right into the cards. The reason for this is I did not receive any messages when connecting with the energy of this group. I will note that I did feel very tense though. I especially felt tension in my throat. I feel like there's something that you guys have been dealing with or carrying that you are just so done with it. You don't want to carry with this any longer. Yeah, there's this underlying desire to move on, to heal. Okay, but I am now going to move into the cards to find out what is it that Spirit wants for you to know at this moment. What message do they have for you? Okay, so 2 cards. Oh, interesting. Flipped over, and we have number 43 with the key term transition and the message. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. And we also have the card Synergy with the number 41 and the message. The frequency of synergy supports our allowance and acceptance of not so obvious, never seen before combinations and unions that result in new ways of functioning, working, thinking, relating, loving, and being. It reminds us to embrace the unfamiliar so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. Okay? And I'm going to pull out another oracle card from the Southern Oracle deck. If I pause, it's because an airplane is gliding overhead and they make so much noise. So, yeah. So 2 cards fell out and we have number 42 with don't get your feathers ruffled and the key phrases inner calm, well-being, patience, deep breathing, compassion, and the ideal. And we also have number 2 with honey child and the key phrases abundance, fertility, belief, succor, growth, warmth, beginnings, and in your prime. And I'm going to pull out one more oracle deck. Well, okay, that one flew out pretty fast. And we have bound. This card did fall out horizontally, so that is how I'm going to take it. When cards fall out in this direction, I personally interpret it as either a blocked or stagnant energy, or it could also represent the foundation from which the overall energy is being grounded on. And last but not least, I want to pull out a mini chakra card. Oh, perfect. And we have the solar plexus chakra. Okay, so the card that is really standing out to me in this spread is the card transition. So I do sense that a lot of you are going through a transition in your life, meaning that there are definitely changes happening either in your inner world or in your outer world. And some of these changes might feel a bit uncomfortable or even scary, because I do sense a bit of resistance to these changes and or this transition. And that tends to happen when we are undergoing changes, because a lot of the changes that we experience tend to be out of our control. And that can be the scary part, right? Not having control over a situation. And so because it feels scary, we start resisting it, we start challenging it, fighting against it. So if you resonate with this, Spirit wants to reassure you that these changes are not to your detriment. These changes are allowing you to transition into a new phase of your life. As you can see, we have the message, don't get your feathers ruffled, with inner calm, patience, and deep breathing. The more you resist, the more you challenge the inevitable, the more you are going to find yourself struggling. And this transition phase is going to feel like it's taking really long, a lot longer than it needs to be. Because the transition phase is always wonky. I feel that is the phase in which we experience that restlessness, that uncertainty, because we sense that something is shifting. We feel that we are moving out of something and towards something new. But we are not quite sure what is it that we are leaving behind or coming out of and coming into. That is the unknown. And that uncertainty, that feeling of being in the dark is what leaves us questioning and sometimes even doubting what the heck is going on. It can almost feel like you're falling but flying at the same time, or as if you're trying to grasp onto something that isn't there. Sort of like swimming in the dark. Those are the visuals that are coming to mind. So if this is how you feel at this moment, Spirit is advising you to take a moment and find that inner calm. Because our mind is logical. It likes to make sense of things. It likes to see in order to believe. So the more we stay up in our head, the more we entertain those thoughts of uncertainty, of fear, the more we are going to feel in the dark. And Spirit wants you to know that you are not in the dark. Your soul always knows exactly where it is at. So stop resisting the waves. Let the waves carry you back to shore. The universe has you. They will not allow you to go astray. With the bound card, I'm also sensing someone feeling like they are unraveling, like something within them is coming undone. So it could very well be that during this transition, a lot is coming up to the surface. a lot of uncomfortable and possibly even unwanted emotions. And there's this feeling of restraint, restraining yourself from feeling these things, restraining yourself from acknowledging what has been suppressed, what is going on within. Now we do have the solar plexus chakra here, and as you can see, there is a lot of the color yellow in this spread. So the solar plexus deals with willpower. It is associated with masculine energy, and it is the energy center that focuses on self-identity, how we view ourselves, the way we identify ourselves. So this energy center is often blocked by shame. When we refuse to accept all aspects of ourselves, when there is self-denial, that results in a blocked or wounded solar plexus. So transitions are also about transformation. And in order to transform, there must be a level of self-acceptance. So once again, with the bound card showing up, what aspect of yourself are you not acknowledging? Are you denying or in denial of? What is it that you are refusing to see? What are you ashamed of? You are being called to acknowledge these things and these aspects of yourself. How can we change if we refuse to see what needs change? How can we move on if we refuse to see where we are right now? With the key term compassion, you are being asked to have compassion for yourself. It's interesting how we have this phrase, the ideal. I feel that the majority of us have this ideal version of who we want to be. We have expectations, and we can beat ourselves up and be extremely mean to ourselves for not being that ideal, for not meeting those expectations, for not being who we think we should be right now. You know, it's interesting. Now that I think of it, when I was connecting with the energy of this group, one message that came to mind that I found it a bit strange because it was so out of the blue was, we are not born, we are made. And we do have the flamingo. Flamingos aren't born pink, which is their trademark color, but flamingos are actually born white or gray. It is from their food that they get their pigmentation. So if you are not where you want to be, don't beat yourself up about it. Work towards it. The master isn't born a master. He becomes a master through practice, determination, and dedication, through ups and downs, through perceived failures and setbacks, through lessons, through mistakes. The master is created. So allow yourself the opportunity to unfold, to transition, to change, and to evolve. Do not resist who you are bound to become. I always say this in my monthly predictions, but you are the creator of your own destiny. So in other words, you are not bound. Your hands aren't tied. You are free to change and to create the changes that are needed in order to move forwards. So going back to the flamingo, feed your body, your mind, your soul with the substance that it needs in order to grow and to evolve into what you truly resonate with. We do have the key phrase well-being. Look after your well-being is a message that is coming through. Do not resist change simply because it is uncomfortable, but rather say no to that which you know is not healthy for you and or detrimental. Just because something is uncomfortable doesn't mean that it is bad. And just because something is comfortable doesn't mean that it is always good. Now with the key term synergy and honey child, I feel like these are the energies you are transitioning into or you will be transitioning into. The message in the Synergy card is also very interesting because we were speaking about change and how some changes can feel uncomfortable because they take us out of our comfort zone. And the message in the Synergy card literally says, embrace the unfamiliar, so that new yet exciting co-creations can give birth to a new reality. And look what we have in the Honey Child card. We have someone who is pregnant with new life. You are on your way to birthing a new life. It almost feels like this bound card is the cocoon phase. You are the caterpillar who has fully transformed into a butterfly but is still in the cocoon. And it's sort of like there is this resistance to spread your wings and break out of that cocoon. There is this fear to go out into the world to test your wings. And Spirit is encouraging you to let go of that fear, or the very least, to no longer let that fear be what dictates how you are going to live and experience your life. In this new beginning, I see you not only co-creating with the universe, but I also see you working with others, working with new people. And this might be something extremely new for a lot of you, because working with others might be something that is out of your comfort zone. Now, these people that you will be working with are people that are going to be so unlike the people that you usually interact with. They are going to be individuals who think differently from you, who have completely different opinions, who feel differently about certain things that you might be very passionate about. These are individuals who can inspire you and who will inspire you to see things or look at things from a new angle, from a new perspective, to think outside of the box, to even question your current belief systems. And this is not to create doubt within yourself, but this is simply to reevaluate whether what you believe in is something that you still truly believe in. Because sometimes we can carry on with beliefs simply for the habit of it, because they have become comfortable, our comfort zone. Yet, they have nothing to do with our morals, our values. They have nothing to do with who we truly are at the moment. Now, you interacting with these individuals is going to set the foundation for this new reality that you are going to be experiencing. Now, I did mention people and individuals, and I do still stand by that, but this could also be groups or communities or establishments. And they don't necessarily have to be people as in humans, because you can establish a connection, a relationship with an animal. So, for example, if you're not much of a cat person or a dog person, in this new reality, you might establish a very important bond with a feline or a canine. And that will be something new. That can definitely flip the script for you. So I definitely do see you making unlikely connections in this new reality, in this new phase that you are transitioning into. Now, with the Honey Child, we do have the number 2. The number 2 is a number of partnerships, of reciprocity, reciprocation, and of balance. So I do feel like relationships are going to be extremely important in this new chapter of your life. Some relationships are going to play a huge role in this new journey that you will be embarking in. Now, we do have the key terms: abundance, growth. So I definitely do see you embracing growth, allowing yourself to discover more of who you are, allowing yourself to blossom. With the key term fertility and the key term in your prime, I do see you feeling at your prime, feeling very creative or feeling inspired to create. And not only in the artistic, creative art sense, but also in as we have been speaking of, creating your reality, creating the changes necessary in order to grow and transform. With the Honey Child card, there is this sense of no longer feeling the need to control or to hold on. There is this sense of peace with the letting go, knowing when to let go, knowing when something has reached its end, and being okay with letting or allowing for something to end. Life is about cycles. And in this Honey Child card, I see someone embracing the cycles, being a part of it instead of trying to run away from it all. And allowing yourself to be a part of these cycles allows for flow, allows for transition, transformation, and change to occur with ease and with grace, with love and acceptance. We do have the key term belief, and I do sense that your belief will be strengthening. Now, I'm not sure what this belief is. This could be belief in a higher power. This could be belief in change and transformation. This could be belief in self-empowerment, in love, in connections, relationships. But I definitely sense hope. There is so much hope with this Honey Child card. We do have the key term succor, so you will have assistance and you will have support. And I feel like this assistance and support is going to come from people who you know now, as of now, but this support is also going to come from unexpected places. There's so much, I'm sensing so much, as the card says, warmth and kindness. There's so much generosity in this new chapter of your life. Receiving kindness from people that you never even thought of receiving kindness from. It's sort of like meeting people down the street and having such lovely interactions with them. Seeing and witnessing that there is kindness in the world, that everyone holds so much beauty and so much potential for love. And I sense that you are experiencing all this beautiful energy because you are embodying it, because you are centering yourself in it. You are attracting this into your life and you are being receptive. You are being open to it. And it's not that you weren't loving before or that you weren't open to love before, but it's more that there is less resistance to that in this new chapter of your life. Because we can resist love when there is fear. Fear of getting hurt. Fear of being left out in the cold. Fear of not being enough. Fear of being too much. When there is doubt and insecurities, which we all have. With so many programmings and conditionings, unfortunately, we have all developed some type of insecurities and fears. But in this new chapter, these fears are no longer at the forefront. They are no longer tying you down, and you are no longer allowing yourself to be bound by them. Remember, the solar plexus. Shame is unlike guilt. Shame can really hold us back because it can deceive us into believing or feeling that we are not enough. And if you've ever felt that, that is a lie that you are releasing yourself from. Now, I do want to point out that we have a lot of 4s in this spread with the number 42, 41, 43. We also have like consecutive numbers, 41, 42, 43. So whenever there are consecutive numbers, I always think of the energy is flowing. Things are progressing. Things are moving forward. So if you felt stuck, know that things are going to start moving forward. And remember, if there is that resistance, then that is when we ourselves can feel stuck. So see where in your life you are creating resistance. See where this resistance is coming from. Because sometimes in order to transition, we are required to let go of certain things. Because those things we are being asked to let go of are things that will not make sense in this new chapter we are being asked to transition into. It's like trying to walk through a doorway while having this huge load attached to you, bigger than the doorway itself. and you keep trying to get through the doorway, but you can't, because every time you try, this huge load keeps pushing you back. It just can't fit through the doorway. So what is it that you are holding on to that does not resonate with this new beginning that you are longing to step into? Now, as I was mentioning, the number 4 is a number of stability, safety, and protection. I personally associate the number 4, especially when I see repeated 4s, with healing as well as with angels or archangels. So know that you are being divinely protected and assisted. Your angels and possibly an archangel or archangels are assisting you through this transition, and they are doing the best that they can, everything that they can, to make this transition as smooth as they can for you. But remember, universe presents doors for you. They clear the way for you, but then it is up to you whether you want to walk the path or you want to step through those doorways. So this transition, this transformation, it's in the works. And I feel like this transition has been ongoing for a while. I feel like there's this feeling of something being prolonged. So if you've been feeling kind of back and forth, a little stuck, or your life feels a bit stuck, like things aren't really moving forward, like they seem that they are for a moment, but then things slow down again, or you feel like you're 1 foot in and 1 foot out, then it's this transition. And that feeling is because there is that resistance. So it's sort of like universe is waiting for you to make a decision, choose to finally transition, to move forwards, to move on, to surrender to the change, in other words. Now, this message might not be for everyone, but some of you might currently be expecting a child. And this new transition or this new chapter of your life could very well be parenthood. If so, just know that this new beginning is coming in with so much love. There is so much beauty in this new beginning. And with the key term abundance, I know we often associate abundance with money, with financial wealth, but this abundance can be in regards to anything, emotional abundance. And that's what I see here. There's this feeling of gratitude and the inner calm and inner peace that was coming through with the don't get your feathers ruffled, I sense in this honey child card. And I also sense this very strong connection with the divine, with a higher power. So the word synergy comes from the phrase working together. You are working with yourself instead of against yourself. So if you ever were working against yourself, this is the change. If you ever felt like you were self-sabotaging or getting in your way, in this new chapter, you are no longer getting in your way. You are worthy. You have always been worthy. There is no need to prove your worth to anyone. And I feel like that was what I was picking up right at the beginning. This feeling of being done. I'm done. I'm tired with needing to prove myself, with needing to prove my worth. I am worthy. I am. And I'm going to start living for me and living a life with the ones I love instead of living to prove a point. At least that's kind of the vibe that I am picking up on. For those of you who are single, I do sense a partnership on the horizon for you guys. And I don't know, I just sense resistance immediately when I said that. A lot of you might be losing faith in ever finding someone or being with someone, having that deep soul bond and connection with someone. But just know that that has never been denied to you. That is yours, has always been yours. And I do see it on the horizon for you guys. Now, I will be very clear. Yes, I am speaking about a romantic connection, but I also sense that this is speaking about a bond with another living being, with another soul. And this bond, this connection doesn't have a label. It is something that is felt and experienced. And whether it's romantic, platonic, whatever it may be, it's besides the point. So if you've been wanting, or your soul has been yearning for that soul connection, it's because it exists. It is there. I also sense a transformation in terms to your physical appearance. I feel like your body is going to be transforming. So for those of you who are expecting, this transformation might be the pregnancy itself. But for those of you who are not expecting, this is more of like growing into your skin. That's what I'm sensing. It might sound a bit creepy, but to give you a visual, it's like a flower that is blooming. And I also see a new lifestyle, a completely new lifestyle for a lot of you. I also sense that a lot of you could be choosing to travel for a while, or will be traveling a lot in this new chapter or phase of your life. Some of you might even be relocating. I do sense that a lot of you are resisting this change or this transition because you might feel like accepting this change or surrendering to this transition means you have to sacrifice something. And I don't want to say that's not the case, because as I mentioned, sometimes we are required to let go of certain things in order to move into a new beginning. But I do sense that Spirit wants to reassure you that you are not losing a part of who you are. You are simply allowing yourself to experience a new part of you, or a new version of you. Remember, I was speaking about a new reality, and this feels like a new reality that you are stepping into. It's like a new life. So, of course, there's going to be major differences between the past and this new reality you are stepping into, but this new reality comes with its blessings. And if you allow yourself to experience them, you are going to see and feel the beauty of it all. Because I feel like Spirit is saying there is beauty and magic in all these versions and realities. There is beauty in the past as there is in the present, and there will be in the future. But the important thing is whether you allow yourself to experience it by being in the now, by choosing it. So it might feel like a sacrifice right now, but I do sense that in the long run, there is no feelings of regret. At least that's what I sense with the Honey Child card. There is this sense of feeling at peace with your choices, with your decisions. And for some, I do feel like if there is something that you need to put on hold for the time being, you can come back to it later on in the future if you so desire, if it is still something that is calling to you. Because not all things that we need to let go of are bad things or negative things or things that are hurting us. They could simply be things that are not what we need to focus on at the moment, because there are more important things that need our focus right now. So if you feel bound because you cannot choose, know that not everything is lost. Know that you can still come back to whatever it is that you feel you need to let go of right now in order to step into this new beginning. And sometimes all this has to do with timing. Maybe right now is not the time for this to happen. Maybe this is meant to happen later on along in your journey. And you'll know when it is time to address this, come back to this, reconnect with this, whatever it may be. I don't know why I'm pointing at the flamingo, but I feel the energy over here. Yeah. Now, I'm aware that the following message might not sit right with everyone, so just take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Oftentimes, what we are asked to let go of and what we resist to let go of is the life we have envisioned for ourselves. This can be one of the most difficult things. We have this image of who we want to be, what life we want to live, what we want to experience, and we want to see it manifest so badly that we can resist any change or experience that we feel does not meet those expectations. And this can create a lot of frustration, stagnancy and or even blockages. Because I do sense someone who has been trying very hard, who has been fighting for an outcome, fighting to maintain something, fighting to create this perfect image or picture. And all this fighting has left them feeling drained and possibly even discouraged. And it is because this fighting does not feel natural. On the contrary, it feels forced. And that's the difference. The energy feels like that of someone who is fighting very hard to live someone else's life, to be someone else. And this feels forced because this life is not in alignment with their soul. This is not who they are at the core. So this transition, this new chapter that a lot of you could be commencing pretty soon, could very well be one of finding out who you are, of reconnecting with yourself, of discovering and acknowledging what lies you were telling yourself and what kind of lies you were living, what illusions you were holding on to, and how these illusions were causing you more harm, pain, disappointment, rather than fulfillment and empowerment. Now, I know this whole message sounds a little bizarre because it's always encouraged for you to create the life that you envision for yourself. And this is still true, but one must be very careful that what they envision is actually in alignment with who they are at the core. Because there is a difference in creating something versus forcing something to be. Okay? But those are all the messages I am seeing with these cards. So now what I'm going to do is give space for spirit, your higher self to... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give space for you to receive a direct message from your spirit team, your higher self, and for the last message, you can think of anyone you want to receive a message from. So this could be an archangel, this could be an ancestor, a loved one who is on the other side, or this could be the higher self of someone who is currently incarnated in this physical 3D. Okay? So I will start off with a message from your spirit team. So what does your spirit team want you to know at this moment? Actually, sorry you guys, I told you I didn't have this planned out. I'm going to pull out one of these cards for a message from your spirit team. And these are handmade cards that have quotes from the animated series Adventure Time. Okay, so it's kind of hard to shuffle this one, but let's see. So we have 2 cards, and the messages are, a wave of acceptance has washed over me. And this was said by the character Marceline. And we also have, you move to music, but that's not dancing. You chew pancakes, but you're not tasting. To truly party, one must leave behind the problems that are troubling and open one's mind eye. And this was said by the character Party Bear. I would advise for you to read this quote one more time and really let the message soak in, because I feel like this message is very powerful. Okay, so there we have it. And now to receive a message from your higher self. Okay, that was quick. And we have 2 cards. Knowing what you don't want helps you find out what you do want. Spend more time focusing on what you want and watch your belief grow and desires come. And then we have, the changes you are experiencing are really good. Happy outcomes are on the way. Revel in this thought. Wow, okay, so this is just reassurance and confirmation from your higher self that you are headed in the right direction, that these changes are leading you to somewhere great. So trust and revel in this thought. And now I am going to pull out a message from whoever it is that you want to receive a message from at this moment. So do set an intention for who it is that you want to receive a message from. As I shuffle these written messages over here. Okay, and now let us see what is it that they want to let you know at this moment. Actually, I feel like pulling only this one. I'm going to put these back. And okay, these two want to come out. And I feel like one more is in here. Which one? This one. Okay. So we have the message soon. Whoops. Open your heart, and when you do, think of me. And of course, this is speaking about your heart space, your heart chakra. And ooh, new beginnings. And last but not least, when you miss me, close your eyes and simply feel. There is where you will find me. Oh, okay. So those are all the messages I have for you guys, or we have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. If you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end. And thanks to all of you who took a moment to watch the advertisements. That is the most simplest way to support me and to support this channel. So muchas gracias. Yes, but that is all for now. Wishing you magic and beauty in the days to come. And until the next moment, bye bye. Hola seekers who chose group 2, the Crescent Moon. Bienvenidos to your reading. If you are interested to know how this reading is going to unfold, then I do recommend for you to listen to the intro if you haven't done so already, because it is there where I go over everything we are going to cover in this reading. Okay, so as always, I will start off with the intuitively channeled message, and then I'll move right into the cards. And I will only be using oracle cards for this reading. So a few messages did come to mind when connecting with the energy of this group, and the first one was, we are more than the sum of our parts. The second message was taking a leave. And the last message that came to mind was reaching out. So with the message taking a leave, some of you might be asking for a leave of absence from work, or you are being recommended to take a break. And this applies for everyone, not mattering whether you're employed or not, or self-employed. I feel Spirit or your higher self is really recommending for you to rest, to take some time for yourself to either recharge or reboot. You guys did choose the crescent moon. It is not the full moon. So I get this sense of someone feeling a bit depleted. Maybe even burnt out. And you know, everyone experiences a burnout differently. Some people get physically tired, some people get stressed, some people feel completely unmotivated, others get overwhelmed by certain emotions or feelings, others might feel physically ill. So we don't all experience a burnout the same, and we don't always experience a burnout the same. So just keep track of your well-being and remember to check in with yourself every once in a while. And if your body, your mind, your state of being is asking for you to slow down, then please adhere to that request. Please take care of yourself. Now, with the message reaching out, I feel it goes hand in hand with what was just mentioned. If you are struggling with something, If you feel like you have too much on your plate, please don't hesitate to reach out for help or for assistance. You do not have to do everything on your own. You can always ask others if they are in a space or a place in which they can provide assistance, and if they can, be open to ask for help and be receptive to the assistance that will be offered to you. It is okay to help one another. It is okay to be the one to offer support as well as be the one to receive it from others. It is okay to be cared for by you and by others as well. Okay, but now I am going to move into the cards, and I will start off by pulling out a card from the Sacred Geometry deck. Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck. That is the complete name of this deck. Okay, so let's see what this spirit and or your higher self want you to know in this moment. So for two. Ooh, okay, so we have number 22 with Divine Masculine, and the message: the frequency of Divine Masculine supports our strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us to bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. So interesting how Divine Masculine showed up for you guys, because we were just speaking about possibly overworking yourself, putting too much on your plate, and masculine energy, when it is unbalanced or overactive, it can tend to overwork itself, to focus solely on work, on being on the go. And it can also tend to be a little too self-critical and hard on the self. Always reaching for more, always wanting more, never feeling satisfied with the results, perceiving mistakes and setbacks as failures, and not really giving itself the space, the patience and understanding to learn and to grow and to evolve. Because, some things take time and some things require of us to make mistakes in order to come to an understanding or to learn, to improve. But I'm going to pull out another oracle card, and this is from the Southern Oracle deck. So we have number 7, fixin' 2, with the key phrases: go get it, required and inspired action, now is the time, readiness, and follow through. So there's so much action-orientated energy in this spread or for this group. Now I'm going to pull out one more oracle card. This message just came to mind. If there is any one of you who needs to take a leave of absence and you're feeling guilt for that, I feel Spirit is reassuring you that there is no need to feel guilt over this, that it is okay to take this leave of absence, and that everything is going to turn out all right. Sorry, you guys, if you see me pause, it's because either an airplane is gliding overhead and it's making so much noise, or my neighbors are being very loud. So, yeah, sorry. Okay, there we have it. Sometimes I need to knock on the deck. But we have the void, or void. And I do want to pull out one of these mini chakra cards. Okay, so we have the crown chakra. So as some of you might already know, we all have both masculine, yang, and feminine, yin, energy within us. It is the so-called positive and negative forces that create wholeness and establish balance. Yet to have that balance, or to reach that balance, these two energies must be active and in alignment with one another. Now, it is often the case in which one of these energies is very active and the other is underactive, or one is blocked while the other one isn't, and this is what creates imbalance, not only in our inner world, but also in our outer world. So what I'm sensing here is either an overactive or underactive masculine energy. Now, as mentioned previously, the masculine can be very focused, active. It is the energy of reason and logic, and the one that is most intrinsically connected to the physical world. So when the masculine energy is overactive, it can tend to become super hyper fixated on goals, on success, on material accomplishments. It can get super attached to outcomes, results. And that's exactly the kind of vibe that is emanating from this fixing 2 card. Because we do have this energy of a go-getter. We have this cat who is fixated on this mouse. It's sort of like having this tunnel vision. Now, we do have the crown chakra here, and the crown chakra is the energy center that allows us to connect with our higher self, with pure cosmic energy. So what can block a crown chakra is earthly attachments. So an example of this could be someone who is attached to their material possessions. Someone whose identity is built around their accomplishments. If I don't have this, then I'm nothing. If I don't accomplish this, then I am unworthy or I'm a failure. So as mentioned previously, this sort of thinking and these kind of attachments can result in one being very critical of self and of possibly taking on more than they can handle. Now, masculine energy also deals with our sense of self, how we view and identify ourselves. So, attachment to labels can also be the cause of a wounded masculine energy. Attachment to labels can really hold us back because they don't allow us to experience our multi-dimensionalness. Since we become the label, the thing, we give power to something external from us to identify who we are, instead of allowing ourselves to simply be. So the advice here is to release attachments to any labels, so that you can free yourself to explore more of who you are. Because we do have void in your spread. And looking at this card, I get the sense of someone who is feeling a bit lost. Because oftentimes when we are on the go, we can get so caught up in the doing, in the creating, in the action, that we completely forget the reason for it or behind it. Why are you running this race? Why does it matter? Why is it meaningful? Are you trying to prove something? What is it that you are trying to prove? Why do you need to prove this? Oftentimes we find ourselves chasing a dream, a goal, or trying to meet an expectation that is not even ours. Oftentimes we find ourselves reaching out for something that we don't truly want or that we no longer resonate with. Maybe at one point in your journey, you set out to reach out for a dream or a wish that you really believed in and wanted. And you got so caught up and consumed in obtaining this that along the journey, as you grew and you evolved, you never really took the time to pause and ask yourself if you still really wanted this. If reaching for this dream was still bringing you fulfillment. So I feel you are being encouraged or advised to take a moment and really sit down with yourself and ask yourself those deep and meaningful questions. What is it that you are reaching for? What is it that you truly need? What is your soul longing for and calling out for? Now, the divine masculine is asking of you to not seek so much for external validation. Usually when there is that need for external validation, it is for things that are related to expectations or societal standards. It has to do more with social acceptance rather than something that is intrinsically of you. Because something that comes from the soul, something that is sincere, that comes from you, you will find that you won't need that external validation. You won't feel the need to seek for it. Because right from the get-go, you know that it's true to you. Because it's coming from you. No one can validate something that is of you. Because that is uniquely yours. The soul knows this and understands it and doesn't go against it. But when we create to fit into a norm or to meet expectations created by society, usually that's us trying to fit into a mold that is not of us, and that's when we seek that validation. Because it's like something that you don't have an understanding of, and you're working so hard at getting it right, but because you don't have a full understanding of it, of course you're going to ask others whether you are doing it right or not. You're going to seek for that validation, for that approval. Because you're not following your rule book or your guidelines. You're following guidelines and rules created by something external. This concept, this idea was brought to my attention by the poet Rainer Maria Rilke, and it really struck a chord with me. And I share it with you guys because that's kind of the overall vibe I'm getting from this group. When we focus so much on external validation, when we start trying to become something rather than discovering who we are, I feel like that's when we experience blockages in our crown chakra. Because we're not truly being receptive to our higher selves. So if you find yourself being super critical of self, being too hard on yourself, ask yourself, why? Why are you not applauding your efforts? Why is it never enough? Why do you always need to be pushing for more and more and more? And this is not about becoming complacent or settling, but it's more about giving yourself the acknowledgement that you deserve, realizing that you are enough. That you don't need to prove your worth. Remember, you're a multidimensional being. You are your highest self. The more we start feeling like we're not enough or we need to be more, the less connected we feel with our higher self. The less we are able to embody our highest self. Because we are invalidating ourselves. Instead of feeling whole, we feel incomplete. But you are already whole. So there is this message or this advice to not be so hard on yourself, to be more understanding and compassionate with self, to reach inwards, become acquainted with your soul, with your inner self, to have a better understanding of what it is that you actually need or you require at this moment, at this time, so that you can stop chasing and start receiving instead. Because you don't need to chase for what is of you, because it is already yours. Now, when there is an underactive or maybe even wounded masculine energy, there could be the opposite effect, where instead of working to achieve, being overactive, one can feel unmotivated or even discouraged. There could be a lack of faith in self or even trust in self. When there is a wounded or underactive masculine energy, one can tend to underestimate themselves or fall into this victim mentality where everything is happening to me and I can't do anything about it. Or every time I try, things fall through. Nothing works out for me. The world or the universe is against me, etc. And again, this is a result from feeling disconnected with self. as well as creating attachments. Because this type of thinking or belief can often be the result of you attaching yourself to a label, to an idea, believing that you are not enough, or to an experience. For example, if you made a mistake and you perceived it as a failure and you attach your identity to that single experience, then you block yourself from giving you any opportunity to fix the mistake, to improve, to learn, to grow. A wounded masculine can result in one feeling extremely fearful. Fearful of failure, fearful of not being accepted, fearful of not being enough. And living by these fears can often result in one not following through with things. So for example, let's say you start a business and things are going pretty well. And because things are going pretty well, all of a sudden you feel that something is bound to go wrong. And so instead of waiting for, shit to hit the fan, you self-sabotage your own business. Either you close it, you call quits, or you start underestimating your own business, retracting from it, not taking care of it, not investing in it anymore. You start making yourself believe as if you don't care, when at the core, you do. And this is all a reaction to fear. Because I sense that when there is a wounded masculine, there can even be a fear of success, a fear of being seen, of being acknowledged, of being praised, of feeling content, stable, and secure. And it's not because you don't love happiness or want happiness, but it's more of not wanting to have for fear of losing. And so when we have this fear, that's when we don't give ourselves an opportunity to attempt things, to try, to put ourselves out there. And we might feel a bit like we're wandering or we're lost or we don't know where to go. But it's not so much that you don't know where to go or what you want. It's more that you fear accepting what you already know. You fear reaching out for more, or reaching out for that which you truly desire, or what you know is truly meant for you and of you. Because again, there's that underlying fear. What if I reach for it, I obtain it or have it, and then I lose it? The pain of losing it is going to be so great, and I don't want to experience it. There is something that we forget. This life is all about cycles. Things begin in order to end so that new things can commence. Fearing the inevitable is really going to keep us stuck. I mean, it can be a way of living, but the question is whether you want to live that way. Because with the Fixing 2 card, with all of these cards, Spirit is saying, now is the time. You can reach out from the void. You can come out of your shell, as they say. Come out of that darkness, come out of that fear, and start bringing your dreams and ideas into form. The divine masculine is about creating, is about taking the action necessary in order to bring something to life, to materialize it. The feminine is about imagining, visualizing, and the masculine is about putting in the work. So things won't come into fruition until you become an active participant in bringing it to life. So as you can see, this is the number 22. The number 2, I personally associate with the energy of balance, of reciprocity, of fairness and equality. And it is the number 22, repeated 2s. Some will call this a master number. And according to the guidebook of this oracle deck, the number 22 is also referred to as the master builder. This number is associated with turning dreams into reality. So notice where you're focusing your energy and your efforts into. Remember, action. What are you actively focusing on? I don't believe in we manifest our thoughts into reality. It's more of what we focus on, what we continuously think of. It's more of what we become aware of in our external reality, what we hyperfixate and focus on. As I mentioned in another reading, if we're constantly thinking, hyper-focusing on the color blue, then that is all we are going to see in our external reality, because our mind is so focused on it that we will spot it immediately. And we're going to feel like we're manifesting that color, but it's not that you're manifesting it, it's just that you're so aware of it, that you see it everywhere. It's already there. You're just catching on to it. So there is an underlying message here to not wait for the validation. Don't wait for a confirmation or to feel deserving of something. I feel like there is this idea that in order to start something, to go for something, we need to feel extremely confident about it first, or we need to be confident. But oftentimes, confidence is not required of us, only courage. Confidence is something that is built over time as you start experiencing, as you start tripping, stumbling, falling over, and getting back up again. Confidence comes with the lessons. So don't wait to be, but rather live to become, whilst experiencing yourself as you are. So with the phrase, now is the time and readiness, Spirit is simply reassuring you that you are ready. Now is the time. You are ready to look within. You are ready to take that next step forward. You are ready to find out who you are right now. You are ready to allow yourself to express who it is that you are, little by little. It doesn't all have to come in one go. You can start doing this little by little. So once again, if you need to pull back a bit, if you need to take a break, don't feel guilty for needing it or for doing so. Masculine is about action, but remember, we also have feminine energy. That is about allowing, being receptive, being open, going with the flow. So allow yourself to go with the flow every once in a while to find that balance. Yes, there are times in which action is required of us, but there are other times in which we are simply asked to be, to listen, to receive. We don't always have to be giving, as we don't always have to be consuming. Too much of one thing is not good. So find your balance, find your rhythm. If you've been in the receptive state, in that feminine energy, now is the time to be in this masculine energy. If you already have an idea as to what it is that you want to create, now is the time to start taking action, start working on creating this, bringing it into reality. Because we can also have an overactive energy center. And when the crown chakra is overactive, we can tend to get lost in daydreams, become a bit elusive, forget to ground and be part of this physical reality. And what's the point of being a creator if you never allow yourself the opportunity to create, to consciously create? Because the crown chakra is about consciousness. I also feel like an overactive crown chakra can result in one feeling like nothing is ever enough. This constant need for more. And that can result in feeling disconnected or detached from your environment, from others, from your surroundings. So instead of being in the present, acknowledging what is around you, you're looking towards the future or towards something that is not real or concrete. And on the other end, a blocked crown chakra can result in cynicism, being skeptic, not believing, feeling hopeless. So just know you are not incomplete, you are not without, you are not powerless, and you are enough. Go within to find that grounding, to let go of illusions, and to see that you are not lost and you are not wandering, even though it might feel like you are. Because to me, it sort of feels like the lights are turned off and it's so pitch dark that you don't have a clue as to where you are, but you are somewhere, you are safe. All you need to do is turn on the lights to realize, to get an understanding of where it is that you are situated. And to do that, there is a need to slow down if you feel like you're going too fast or you're pushing for things to go faster, in order to find that grounding and to go within and start getting to know yourself a bit more. Because you have the answers. I know that is a phrase that is often used and it might feel a bit frustrating to hear, but you do have the answers. Everything that you need to know right now, you have the answers to. If something is not yet clear, it's most likely because it's not meant to be clear at this moment. If you were to be given that information, it might be confusing to you, or it might make things even more confusing. Or it could distract you from what is truly important right now. So go within to find that clarity and to find that balance. Okay? This is the last message that is coming to mind. It is okay to advocate for yourself. Okay? But now I am going to move into... I will advise for you to pay close attention to the numbers that you see here. So we have 22 and 7 because these might be numbers that you could be seeing repeatedly. So for example, 222 or 2222 or repeated sevens. If so, this could be a reminder from spirit to, get in touch with your masculine energy or to recenter, to find that balance. But I do recommend that if you start seeing repeated numbers, take a moment to see what is happening around you, what is going on also within when you see these repeated numbers. Because I know that the numbers have their own vibration and their own meaning, but spirit communicates with us in different ways that are unique to us. So the numbers can have a specific meaning that is only unique to you. So just keep that in mind. Also, this could be representing an important date. So July might be of significance, or July 22nd might be an important date, or the 22nd of a month. If we add up 2 and 2, we get 4. So April might also be an important month. And also February 2nd could be another significant date. So yeah, just keep that in mind. But now I am going to move into the last segment of this reading. So in this segment, I will give space for you to receive 3 direct messages, one coming from your spirit team, another from your higher self, and the last message will be coming from someone who you want to hear from at this moment. So this could be an archangel, this could be an ancestor, an ascended master, a loved one who is in the ethers, or even the higher self of someone who is currently incarnated in this physical 3D. So I will give you a moment to set an intention for who it is that you want to receive a message from, as well as ask a question if you feel called to do so. Hopefully you'll receive a direct answer. Okay, but I will first start off with a direct message coming from your spirit team, and this is the handmade deck that contains quotes from the animated series Adventure Time. Okay, so we have 3 messages. So get in touch with your feelings, babe. And this was said by the character Lumpy Space Princess. We also have humor is the highest form of intelligence. And this was said by the character Lamp. This message just came to mind. Laugh. It's okay to laugh more. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to be okay. And last but not least, we have, I don't think there are bad people. I think good people do bad stuff sometimes, and that's bad. But if you just do it once, That's a mistake. And that's not bad, I think. And this was said by the character Marceline. And this message just came to mind. Don't hold on to previous mistakes. Learn from them. Grow from them. But don't hold yourself back because of them. Okay? But those are the messages coming from your spirit team. Now we are going to pull out a card to receive a direct message from your higher self. With the message, get in touch with your feelings, babe. I feel it's a message also to get in touch with your feminine energy, especially if you've been residing in your masculine energy a lot. It's okay to feel through your emotions. It's okay to feel. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to not have it all figured out. Okay, but let us pull out a card to receive a message from, well, okay, let me shuffle this deck one more time. There we have it. Ooh! So we have no, yes with the message. Get in the receptive mode. Then you'll know if it's a heck yes or a heck no. So I'm guessing some of you asked a yes or no question. I apologize if you didn't receive a direct answer, but trust that this is the message that you needed to hear at this moment. And it's reminding me a lot of what was mentioned previously. All that you need to know, you already have the answers to. Okay, but now I'm going to pull out some written messages to receive a direct message from that who you intended to hear from at this moment. Let's see. I feel like, okay, these two want to come out. And I'm going to put these back in. And I feel like one more. This one. Okay. And we have the message when you least expect. Let's meet in the dream. And last but not least, this is a quote that reads, "What labels me negates me." And I apologize for not reading out this name, but I am afraid I will mispronounce it. But here you have it. Okay, so those are all the messages we have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. If you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and thanks to all of you who took a moment to watch the advertisements. That is the most simplest way to support me and to support this channel. So muchas gracias. I truly appreciate it. Yeah, but that is all for now. Wishing you magical moments to come, and until the next moment, bye bye. Hola seekers who chose group 3, the heart, bienvenidos to your reading. If you are interested to know how this reading is going to unfold, then I do recommend for you to listen to the intro if you haven't done so already, because it is there where I go over everything we are going to cover in this reading. So as always, I will start off with an intuitively channeled message, and then I'll move right into the cards. And for this reading, I will only be using oracle cards. Okay? So I will say that I felt a little confused by the energy of this group. It is not to say that you guys are confusing, it's just I myself was confused. So overall, it feels like you guys are undergoing some major cleansing of the mind, cleansing of the heart, cleansing of the soul. It feels like where the energy had once been stuck, it is now moving again, flowing. I do sense a feeling of calm, but at the same time, there is this underlying feeling of unease. I sense that a lot of you are starting to make sense of certain things. Why some things had to happen, what was the lesson behind some experiences or situations. Though it might not be easy, some of you are starting to accept certain truths that go against your expectations or what you thought to be true. Some of these truths or information you are coming into acceptance of could be uncomfortable. And all this accepting and processing of these truths, information, is really requiring a lot of energy from you. So if at this moment not much is happening in your surroundings, if things feel pretty chill, I feel like that's universe's way of giving you space and time to really sit with everything that is coming up for you, to cleanse and release and to process. And if you yourself are not feeling very active or as energetic or motivated, it might be because you are undergoing this cleansing, this purification. Your body, your energy is asking of you to take it a bit slow right now, to not overexert yourself or put yourself in situations that will require more from you or that will overstimulate you. Because I am picking up on stillness, silence, and this need to go within and be with self. So your higher self might be asking you to connect with them. And I also noticed that my attention was focused or centered on the breath. So breathing exercises might also be something that could be of assistance to you during this time, because the breath can really help ground us and center us. And I feel like that's what you guys are working towards, being more grounded and feeling more centered. There's this overall feeling of acceptance coming from this group. But I am going to move into the cards now. So I will first pull out a card from the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck. Be easy on yourself is the message that is coming to mind. Be easy on yourself. It is okay. Oh, okay. And these two cards flew out. So we have number 9 with allowance. And yeah, that's kind of the vibe I was getting. Be easy on yourself. Allow yourself to process these things. Allow yourself to be. So we have the message. The frequency of allowance invites us to be open to whatever comes our way, without judgment, without opinion, without fear, and without resistance. When we allow, the universe becomes our partner in the wondrous dance of existence and expansion. I was actually going to mention how, unlike the other groups, this group felt like they were releasing resistance. And that's why energy is flowing. That's why there's a lot of this cleansing and purifying going on for you guys, because you are no longer resisting change or resisting the truth, your individual truth. You are allowing yourself to be more and more receptive. Yeah, so allowance. And I do notice this is the 9th card, and I personally interpret the number 9 as a number of coming into completion. Because for me personally, it is the number 10 that denotes endings and completion. So the number 9 is more about tying loose ends, preparing for that ending. And it's interesting because the vibe that I was picking up on or sensing was that of transitioning into something. It's sort of like coming into full circle, but not yet coming full circle. Okay, but now I'm going to move into the other card, and we have number 35, perception, with the message, the frequency of perception supports our natural curiosity, moving us beyond our comfort zone to find the edges of what we perceive as real and to take a good, hard, deep look at it. Ooh, okay. So definitely you are seeing things in a new light. You are getting some sense of clarity, and there's a lot of realization and, as mentioned previously, acceptance going on here. But I'm going to pull out a card from the Southern Oracle deck. Okay. So we have the number 44, a master number with, well, that just dills my pickle. And the key phrase is total contentment. It's a yes, success, wishes granted, mastery, and joyous resolution. Wow. Okay, cool. Okay, before the last oracle card of this spread, we have Rise. I like this card. Yeah, so the card Rise makes me think of a new beginning. You are rising into a new beginning. It makes me think of like rebirth, being reborn, which I feel goes hand in hand with the whole purification and cleansing, because it's like starting anew, having a clean slate in order to create something new. And I do notice we have a lot of the color green. The color green is associated with the heart chakra, which is exactly the shape that you guys chose. So there could be a lot of cleansing of the heart, as it was mentioned previously. So you could be experiencing a lot of sensitivity or emotions during this time, especially emotions that have been suppressed or ignored for quite a while. And this is all part of that healing and cleansing. So there could definitely be a heart chakra activation or heart chakra purging going on. Oh, remember how it was mentioned that energy that was once stuck is now flowing again? So if there were any blockages in the heart chakra, that is what is being addressed at this moment. That is the blockage that is being removed, and energy is starting to flow again. And this definitely looks like a vent. You know what this is reminding me of? Finding Nemo, the scene in the tank. The fan that cleanses the tank from the dirty, green, mucky water. Yeah, it feels like the fan is starting to turn again, and all the muck is being cleansed out. So you're cleansing the waters of your emotions. And the interesting thing about this is that you're allowing for this, because I feel like this is something that has been ongoing. I feel like universe, your higher self, your soul, your very essence and energy has been working very hard to activate the heart space or clear the heart space, but there has been resistance to it. And this has been quite a journey, quite a struggle to allow for the heart space to be cleansed, be activated. And now there's no more resistance to it. You are allowing for it, which is a beautiful thing, because I'm sensing liberation with this Rise card. The heart chakra deals with love, and it is often blocked by grief or by heavy emotions that you haven't processed yet. I also sense that self-denial might have been what was blocking the heart space. There's sort of this idea that is coming to mind at this moment of rejecting love because one doesn't feel worthy of love, or not feeling like a good person or good enough of a person to receive love. So if you resonate with that, if that has been your belief at some point, I see you releasing that belief, because that very belief is what has prevented you from connecting with your heart space. You are now allowing yourself to welcome in receive and accept love from others and from yourself as well. But I do want to pull out a mini chakra card. It will be funny if we get, nope. I was going to say it will be funny if we get the heart chakra, but we have the root chakra. And this makes sense because the root chakra is the energy center from which we ground. It is located at the base of the spine and it deals with survival. It is about trust. It's about feeling safe and secure. And this energy center is often blocked by fear. And I feel like when our root chakra is out of balance or when it is blocked, it's very difficult to trust our heart or to feel connected with our heart space. Because our heart space is also the energy center that allows us to connect with our authentic self. So if there is a lack of trust, then it becomes very difficult to not only trust others, but also trust the self. So I can definitely see how all the energy centers go hand in hand, but I could definitely see how these were really affecting one another. So in clearing the root chakra, there is an immediate and positive effect on the heart space, and vice versa. And it's interesting because we have the number 44. The number 4 is a number that I personally associate with the root chakra because it is a number that represents stability, security, safety, protection. It is a very grounding and earthy number. So I definitely see you feeling quite grounded and present, feeling safe within yourself, feeling safe in your body, or creating a safe space, finding a safe space in which you can truly explore and feel through your emotions, be vulnerable, release and let go of that which has been asking to be let go of. So actually, the guidebook of this deck assimilates or likens the allowance card to the Fool card in the tarot deck. And the Fool card is all about new beginnings. But if you recall, the Fool card is the number 0 in the tarot deck. So it's not exactly yet a new beginning. It is more the transition into this new beginning. Because the 0 represents infinite potential. It is a clean slate. So what I'm sensing here is that any old perceptions, beliefs, notions, mentality that was holding you back, that was keeping you from experiencing love, from being loved, from receiving love, you are letting go of that. You are freeing yourself from the chains that were holding you down. And a lot of these chains are fears. Fears that kept you believing that contentment and or joy were not possible for you. Fears that kept you from feeling that it was okay to be happy, to be joyful. There's a lot to do with feelings for this group, this spread. I keep seeing this image in my mind's eye of someone who was struggling with feeling happy. And it's not because they couldn't feel happy. It's more that every time they did feel happiness, joy, peace, or even contentment, they felt like they shouldn't be feeling that way. It's like there was this sense of guilt for feeling joyful, for feeling okay. And that feeling of guilt kept them stuck. And this can happen when we are grieving something, when we are grieving a loss of someone, a loss of a sense of self, a loss of something. Because there's this perception that when we are grieving, we cannot feel happiness. It's almost as if we are not allowed to feel other emotions but the pain, the sadness, the loss, the grief. And sometimes it can become a bit confusing as to when we are supposed to stop grieving. When does the grieving process end? And that confusion comes when we feel like, or we start believing that we can't be happy. And so I do feel like someone was stuck in this grieving phase and they sort of became accustomed to it. Even though it was painful, it became like a comfort zone. And as we all know, getting out of our comfort zone is uncomfortable and can sometimes be a bit of a struggle. And that's what I'm sensing here. Like there is this struggle to feel other emotions, to feel joy, to revel in your successes, to feel accepted and be accepted. So if this is resonating, I do see you taking a peek outside of that grief, that loss, in order to see that there are other emotions that you can explore and that you are allowed to explore. It almost feels like you've been sitting in an emotion for too long, that it has become stuffy and mucky and confusing and sort of unbearable. It no longer feels right. And so you are choosing to get up, to start moving, so that you are no longer sitting in that one emotion. And I feel like that's why we have the rise card. You're literally rising from the darkness. You are changing your perception, which is very important. You are no longer focusing on the lack or what went wrong or what is going wrong, but you are, as mentioned previously, seeing the lesson behind the experiences, focusing on the beauty, choosing to acknowledge what is going good for you, what is working. And most importantly, I feel like the perception of self is changing. What you are deserving of. You are removing limitations and limited beliefs. Also, if there was any tendencies or a habit of self-deprecation or like negative self-talk, I see you abandoning that. You are seeing that all these things you were telling yourself that were really holding you back and putting you down are not true. It's only a perception that you realize now is not working for you. You are switching the narrative. You're noticing how powerful your mind is as well as your perception. And you're realizing, hey, if my perception, my thinking, my beliefs is what is allowing for this suffering, is what is creating this suffering, then why am I choosing to stay here, to feed into this, to continue this? If my mindset is that powerful, then why not change it to something that will bring me joy? Why not choose happiness? Now, I'd like to point out that some things are out of our control. No, we can't control everything, but I always like to remind myself that we can choose how we respond to that which is out of our control. Because I know personally that sometimes things come up, either from within or in our outer reality that we might feel like we have no control over. And so acknowledging that is okay, but also becoming aware of our participation in how much we feed into this or encourage this or aggravate this is also important. Because I myself am an overthinker, and I know that it's not that easy to simply stop thinking about something. Thoughts are thoughts, and they'll come and they'll go and they'll be there for as much as they want to. But whether I entertain that thought by questioning it, engaging in compulsions like reassurance in order to confirm or disprove the validity of it, all of that, it's up to me. That is where I, as the individual, come in to make a difference within me. Now, with the message, wishes granted, I feel like in terms to any dreams, wishes of yours, or possibly even manifestations, your perception of what can manifest or can happen for you or what you are deserving of is changing. So if you find it difficult to manifest or you struggle with manifesting, I don't sense it has anything to do with the universe not wanting to give you what you want or you not being deserving of what you are trying to manifest. I feel it has to do with your perception, with your belief. So I will ask of you, that which you want, at the core, do you truly believe you are deserving of it? Do you truly believe that it can manifest? Or are you skeptical? Is there resistance to that which you want? Belief is super powerful. A couple of years ago, I read this book titled A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness, and there is this line that really stood out to me. Belief is half of all healing. Belief in the cure, belief in the future that awaits. Yes, action is important, but belief and feeling is the most powerful ingredient in terms to manifesting. So, if your perception keeps you from believing that you are deserving of what you want, then that is what is blocking your manifestations. To give you an example, let's say you really want cookies, but you have this belief that you can only have cookies after you have completed all of your chores, every single one of them. And you have 1,000 chores to do. So you know it's going to take you a while, but you're really, really craving that cookie. And universe answers you. Universe offers you the cookie or presents opportunities that can lead you to you obtaining a cookie. But because you have already established this belief that you can only have what you want after you completed a certain goal, then you subconsciously or consciously will get out of your way to not accept those cookies. You know, because that's often the case. We think we can only have what we want after we have accomplished something, after we have become someone, because only when we have accomplished this thing or become this person or gotten somewhere, we are now deserving. But if we continue to carry this belief, this perception or mentality, it can result in us never feeling enough, always finding another reason for why to wait, always finding another reason for why we are not ready yet. And this can start a cycle that never ends until we put a stop to it. And this is not to say that you shouldn't improve or want to improve or have goals. This is more about releasing the mentality that you are not worthy, that you are not deserving of that which you want. So with all this heart chakra energy and with the root chakra being here, what I sense for you guys is feeling more and more comfortable with trusting in yourself to know what it is that you want and trusting that you can handle that which you want. Trusting that you are capable, that you are deserving. And it might take some time. Some of you might be already working through this. That's why there's this transformation. There's this heart chakra activation as well as a root chakra clearing. But for others, I feel like this is sort of like a work in progress. It does take time to shift our perception, to unlearn certain things in order to learn new things. I also see that your perception of how things can come into fruition is changing. Because before there could have been a lot of kind of a victim mentality. So for example, in order to have what I want, I need to suffer or to sacrifice, or it could be that you immediately sought the most difficult path or route in order to get to a certain destination. You know what I'm being reminded of? That phrase, nothing in life is free. There's always a cost. There's always a but. And I'm not saying whether this is true or not, but I feel like this idea could have been taken to the extremes, to a point in which you found yourself not even trying or attempting something for fear of losing something, or for fear that it might come at a great cost. Yes, there are some things that come at a cost, especially material things. There are some things that require time, energy, patience. But even with this understanding, the difference here is that there's no more running away from or feeling intimidated by those requirements. And also finding kind of the courage to bend the rules, or simply to think outside of the box or a type of programming. Like, for example, one of the conditionings or programmings of society is that success is measured by how financially well off you are. But through shifting your perception, through bending the rules, thinking outside of the box, you can find that success is whatever you make of it. And yeah, we do have the key term success. So I see you finding your own version of what it means to be successful, of what it means to be content, happy, fulfilled. With the key term mastery, I see you mastering your perception, being a master of your emotions, or working towards achieving this mastery. You are no longer allowing for external things to define who you are and how you live your life, especially how you perceive yourself. You are trusting yourself enough to create your own reality. When we say create your own reality, we're mostly speaking about this perception. That really changes how we experience our reality. Because, the example of the glass half full, half empty. The glass is glass, there's water in the glass. How we define that whole thing depends on the person and what perception they are carrying. And of course, it's okay to accept and admit when something isn't working out. It's okay to accept when you are feeling frustrated, when you are feeling impatient, when certain emotions that are uncomfortable are coming up to the surface. Think of it as a wheel. The wheel might start spinning out of control for a while, but the important thing is whether you realize that it is spinning out of control and you choose to take a hold of the wheel to stabilize it. So with the message, it's a yes. If there is something that you desire, heart and soul, something that you have been hoping for, and not because of a feeling of lack or neediness, but because this is something of you, and you've been questioning or asking whether this is possible for you, whether you can experience this. Universe is saying, yes, it's a yes. Yes, you can, and you will. Believe, trust, be open to it. How can we give you something when you have your arms crossed over your chest? Open your arms in order to receive. So if you feel like you've been in the defensive, like you've had your walls up, your guard up, I see you tearing those walls down, especially walls that you have created around your heart. Little by little, I see you putting your guard down as you begin trusting more, trusting in self. And self-trust, I feel, is created and strengthened through the understanding of self. As you learn more about yourself and you get to know yourself more, you start trusting yourself more. You trust that you know what you want, you know what you need, and you know what is not for you. And the majority of this trust or getting to know yourself comes from experiences. Okay, but just to reiterate, for those of you who are struggling with something or facing challenges, know that there is going to be a joyous resolution. We do have the message, wishes granted. Your most sincerest and heart-centered, especially heart-centered wishes will be coming true. You are deserving of love, joy, happiness, contentment, peace. Believe it. You are birthing and rising into a new reality with this shift in perception and this energy of allowance. And I feel the root chakra is also speaking about grounding your visions, your dreams into the physical 3D. There's no more wondering or what if. Instead, there is more of, okay, let's make this happen. We can and we will, and we'll find a way. There is a message that is coming through. I feel it is important. Be open to how your manifestations come through. Because what we want may come through in a way that does not look like how we expected it to. To give you an example, think of a gift, a present. And the wrapping of it, how it's decorated, might not meet your expectations, but the content, the gift itself, it's still the gift. It's still what you asked for. So just keep that in mind, because our expectations can be the illusion that prevents us from seeing true beauty. Also remember, our perception, our beliefs are super important. So sometimes we might believe we want for something, but as soon as we receive it, we find out that it isn't exactly what we needed. Going back to that example of success, maybe you want to feel successful, and your belief of success is shaped by social conditionings, and so you aim for wealth. But as soon as you obtain it, you realize that you don't feel successful. It wasn't exactly what you were needing. And it could be because success for you means something else. Yeah, just keep those things in mind. because I feel like the universe is always granting our wishes, but we might not see it as such, because as soon as we receive our wish, it doesn't meet those expectations, or we realize it wasn't what we needed. And so we don't see it as a wish granted, but rather as a wish unfulfilled. But remember, the universe respects our free will, and they are always listening. They are dancing with us. So it's important that you are dancing to your soul song and not to the song of someone else or something else. But overall, I do see you feeling emotionally stable or working towards that emotional stability. If you are already doing that, know that you are going to reach that emotional stability, gain mastery of yourself. I see a heart chakra purging and activation. I sense you feeling a bit more lighthearted, optimistic, joyous, and I feel like the most important thing is content, because I feel like happiness and joy can be one end of the emotional spectrum. We have happy, joyous, ecstatic, and then we have sad, gloomy, down, angry, and so on. And I feel like contentment is right in the middle. It's that nice balance. It's not the same thing as being neutral. I think being neutral is a completely different thing, but I feel like contentment is that feeling of inner peace. So I feel like that's what you are working towards too. And you might be feeling that sense of contentment and inner peace every now and then. Okay, but now I'd like to point out the numbers, because these could be representing significant dates. So we do have the number 9, so the month of September might be of importance. We also have the number 44, so April might be of importance. Since we have 44, April 4th could be an important date. With the number 35, the months of March and May might be important. The date March 5th or May 3rd could be significant. And I notice if we add up the number 35, we get 8. And if we add up the number 44, we get 8. So August could also be an important month. So just keep those in mind. But now I'm going to move into the last segment of this reading. So for this segment, I will give space for you to receive 3 direct messages, one coming from your spirit team, the second will be from your higher self, and the third message will be from someone who you want to hear from at this moment. So this could be an archangel, an ancestor, a loved one who is on the other side, an ascended master, or the higher self of someone who is currently incarnated in this physical 3D. Okay, so I will give you a moment to set your intentions. You can also ask a question if you feel called to do so. Hopefully you'll receive a direct answer. Okay, but now I will pull out a message coming from your spirit team. And this is a handmade deck that contains quotes from the animated series Adventure Time. Okay. So, interesting. So we have the message, that's against my alignment. And this was said by the character Finn. The message that just came to mind is be assertive. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to say no. Okay, I feel like pulling out one more message for you guys. So let me just shuffle a few times. One more time. And where are you? Here. I lack the imagination to think outside my collective programming. I can only see the world as it is. And this was said by the character Almo. This is interesting because we were speaking about perception. So there you have it. Okay, but now to receive a message from your higher self. If you hear talking or murmuring, it's my neighbors. They're outside playing. Okay, so we have 2 cards, 2 messages. Quiet your mind and listen. Talking all the time or asking others for advice drowns out your inner voice. Talk less, feel more. As we connect more and more with our heart space, we are able to tune into our intuition with ease and grace. And as we trust in ourselves more, we are better able to trust in our intuition, or to discern what is our intuition and what is coming from fears or the ego. Okay? And then we also have, if you are uncertain, know this is okay. Trust the answer will come in due time and you will know exactly what to do. Okay? Now, to receive a message from who you intended to hear from at this moment. Let's see. I feel like this one, and let me put these back. This one, and I feel like one more. And this one. Okay. This one back. So we have not yet. It is you, always you. And last but not least, the message, keep moving forward. Okay, so those are all the messages we have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. If you are new to this channel and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and thanks to all of you who took a moment to watch the advertisements. That is the most simplest way to support me and to support this channel, so muchas gracias. Yep, but that is all for now. Wishing you joy-filled moments to come, and until the next moment, bye-bye. Hola seekers who chose group 4, the flower, bienvenidos to your reading. If you are interested to know how this reading is going to unfold, then I do recommend for you to listen to the intro if you haven't done so already, because it is there where I go over everything we are going to cover in this reading. But as always, I will begin with an intuitively channeled message, and then I'll move right into the cards. And I will only be using oracle cards for this reading. Okay, so when connecting with the energy of this group, 2 words came to mind, which were chosen and telepathic. So if there are any of you out there who have applied to something, recently got interviewed, auditioned for something, and you have yet to receive an answer, I feel like the word chosen is Spirit's way of letting you know that you will be accepted. Basically, expect good news. Yeah, because I see that some of you out of a group, you will be the one who will be chosen. Now, I also feel that the word chosen is reassurance from Spirit, because I feel like some of you are doubting whether you are on the right path or whether you deserve to be where you are right now, whether you are capable to live up to something or fulfill something like a purpose or a responsibility. And Spirit is saying, yes, you are on the right path. This is not a mistake. We chose you, or you were chosen because you are capable, because you can. We've never underestimated you, and we're not overestimating you. So believe in yourself, because we believe in you. So this could be something like someone has recently been promoted, or they have been given a role or possibly even a responsibility that they have secretly been wanting. And now that they have it, now that they have been chosen for it, they are questioning themselves about it. And Spirit is saying, don't doubt yourself. No one made a mistake. This is for you. This is of you. If it's here, it's because it was meant to be. And I get the feeling like this has something to do with the life purpose. I don't really resonate with life purpose things, but if you guys do, then know that once again, this is a confirmation from Spirit. You are capable of fulfilling this life purpose. The word light workers is coming to mind. So if you resonate with being a light worker and you've recently discovered what your purpose is and you feel called to fulfill it, then this could be the nudge from Spirit to heed this call. Okay, I have to share this with you guys because it keeps coming up. I can't just simply ignore it. The phrase or the word divine counterpart keeps coming to mind. So maybe some of you are in a divine counterpart type of journey, or you're wondering whether you are in a divine counterpart type of journey, and if so, then once again, this is confirmation or reassurance from Spirit that yes, you are. Okay, but now I'm going to move into the cards. So I will begin with the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck. That's a long name. Okay, so let's see what the Spirit want for you to know at this moment. Nope, okay. Okay, so we have number 33 with the key term miracle, and the message: the frequency of miracle supports our belief in ourselves as a part of Source, and therefore our belief that anything is possible. I feel like this is once again just reassurance from Spirit that anything is possible. And I keep hearing the word or thinking of the word underestimate. So I feel like Spirit is saying don't underestimate yourself and your ability to create miracles or make miracles happen. Oh, and it's interesting how it's the color orange here, and then you guys chose an orange flower. So the color orange reminds me of the sacral chakra. So some of you might be being advised to work on or connect more with your sacral chakra, which is the energy center that connects with feminine energy. And because we do have the number 33, repeated threes, this is making me think of the Empress in the tarot. And the Empress is all about creation, and it is associated with feminine energy. So this is the perfect time to create, to feel inspired and be inspired by your dreams and your heart's desires. I feel like Spirit is saying don't limit yourself when it comes to what you can create or manifest. Get out of your logical thinking a bit to allow your imagination to soar. Because with the miracle card, again, anything is possible. So believe, have faith, or simply be open-minded, be playful. The number 3 is a number of expansion, creation, and creativity. And when I think of the Empress, I think of abundance, of wholeness, and empowerment. The Empress doesn't question what she can or cannot do because she knows what she is capable of. She is the Empress. So this is a sweet message that is coming through, but Spirit wants you to know that you yourself are the miracle. You are the Empress. No matter what sex or gender you identify yourself as, you are coming through as an Empress. Powerful, beautiful, expansive, and abundant. And I feel like this message is super important, supports our belief in ourselves as a part of Source. You are a part of Source. You are the universe. So just think about it. If Source is infinite, magical, and powerful, and you are part of it, then that means so are you. You are also infinite, magical, and powerful. Ooh, I never addressed the intuitively channeled message telepathic. It was just brought to my attention. I feel like Spirit wants you to know, pay attention, listen, because you are always connected with Source. You are not separate. You are not something else. So know that Source, Spirit, your higher self is always communicating with you. And with this color purple, that's reminding me of the crown chakra, which is the energy center from which we channel information and connect with our higher self. So you guys might have the ability of claircognizance, which is the ability to know information. You just have this knowing of things. So for example, if you meet a stranger, you might just know stuff about them, or you might know that they're going through something. And then if you talk to them, and then through conversation, you get confirmation that yes, your insight about this person was accurate. Or let's say you're talking with somebody and then all of a sudden you know what this person is going to say, or you are able to understand this person completely because you feel like you have this knowing about what this person is going through or has gone through, or you just know what's going to happen. And it's not because you saw any signs or got a feeling or an inkling. It's just this knowing. And this might be the way that spirit communicates with you, through just sending you like downloads or information. But also the number 3 is reminding me of the 3rd house in astrology, which is the house of communications. So you could have claircognizance, but you could also have the ability of clairaudience, which is the ability to hear information or hear spirit or perceive energy through hearing. So you might experience this as a voice in your mind, kind of like thoughts that come up, or actually hearing sounds that are not coming from anything external that you can see with your physical eyes. And I also feel like this group, you guys have the ability, or your telepathic ability is super strong, or it is strengthening. And telepathy is not simply about, reading people's minds, but it's that ability that we all have to communicate with others through vibrational energy, sort of like a radio. You're receiving signals, you're sending out signals. So energy is all around us, spirit is all around us. So we always have the opportunity and the ability to tune in and receive, communicate. Maybe what is being asked of you at this moment is to simply take a moment to be in silence so that you can hear or pick up on the messages that spirit or your higher self is sending to you or communicating to you. And also to start practicing how to tune in and what frequencies to tune into. Again, just like a radio, there's different stations. So knowing what station to tune into is important, and that comes with practice and awareness. Always set intention from whom you want to receive a message from, what you are open to. Yeah, so just know that spirit is communicating with you at this moment. I feel like they want you to know that they have been trying to reach you. And because the message divine counterpart did come to mind at the beginning, it could be that the higher self of your divine counterpart or a soulmate or someone that you have a soul connection with could be trying to communicate with you at this moment. They are sending you messages telepathically. Or if you have been looking for confirmation whether you are telepathically communicating or connecting with someone, then this is your confirmation. Yes, you are. Because the color purple also reminds me of something very spiritual, of something divine. So a lot of you could be experiencing the wonders and magic of a soul connection. Yeah, so if you have been wondering whether these messages, signs, or synchronicities are coming from your counterpart or a soulmate or a spirit guide, then this is your confirmation that yes, these messages, signs are coming from them. Also, pay attention to what is going on, what you are experiencing, feeling, picking up on, or seeing when you see repeated threes or the number 33. Because repeated threes or the number 33 or 3 could be spirit's way of letting you know that this is them coming through. Or it could be the way that the soul you have a connection with lets you know that it is them coming through. This could be their number. So for example, let's say you're scrolling through Instagram and then you find yourself gravitating towards a post and it's an uplifting or encouraging message or a message that resonates with your current situation or that feels like an answer to a question that you had. And then you see the number 333, like for example, 333 likes or 333 views. Then that is a confirmation that this message is meant for you and that it is coming from your spirit guide or from this soul who you have a connection with. Okay? But now I'm going to pull out another card, and this is from the Southern Oracle deck. Yeah, I feel like spirit or this soul is very active at this moment. They're sending you a lot of messages. So they simply want to reassure you that yes, this is them, and to not so easily dismiss the messages because they know how happy they make you. And they are intended for that. They are intended to encourage you, to motivate you, to reassure you, and to simply let you know how awesome and amazing you are. So allow yourself to be praised and to be loved. It's okay for you to feel reassured and validated and happy. Okay, but this card fell out and it's the number 40 with bump on a log, and the key phrase is lazing around, loafing, inertia, false start, non-response, and disinterest. Okay, as I was rambling on and on about how you are being advised to not dismiss these messages that are coming through or this communication, I was not looking at the card at all. I was like looking out into the distance, staring at a corner of my room. So now that I read these messages, I find it pretty funny because we do have the key terms non-response and disinterest. So I feel like spirit or this soul is doing all they can to send you all these messages to communicate with you, but you might be non-responsive to their communication or the messages that they do send out to you. I feel like you guys receive them. Like you see them, you hear them, you feel them, but you either brush them aside, deem them a coincidence, or you don't allow yourself to believe that they are messages from spirit or from this soul or higher self. So if you feel that resonates with you, if you feel that might be the case for you, then spirit is simply, the image that just came to mind is like someone is knocking on someone's front door and the person inside is trying to hide, doesn't want to answer the door, or maybe is like laying on the sofa and doesn't care to get up and answer the door or see who's on the other side. And the person knocking on the front door is like looking through the window, seeing that the person is inside, and it's like, I can see you, I know that you're there. Don't pretend that you aren't. So spirit is like, I know you can see the signs. I know you're receiving the messages. Why are you acting like they're not meant for you? Why aren't you answering the call? Yeah, because I feel like spirit wants you to know that you can communicate with them. Like you can respond to them and they'll respond back to you. You can have a conversation with them or a conversation with the soul who you have a connection with. Because we can communicate with others at a soul level. That is possible. But we have to allow for it. We have to be open to it. We have to believe. So spirit is asking you, believe. And I feel like a lot of you guys have currently or recently been receiving a lot of messages to either take action, to make a move, or kind of like a message of it's time to move forward, it's time to take the next step. But you might be ignoring this message or pretending like it's not there, avoiding it in a way. And again, I feel like this is spirit's way of letting you know that they know that you know what these messages that you have recently been receiving are about. Because we do have the key term false start. Some of you might be avoiding these messages or not feeling so motivated to take action or take the next step because you might be feeling discouraged. And this might be from you having tried before, tried to take the next step or tried to move forward or tried for something and things didn't work out or things didn't go as expected. And so now you're a bit more hesitant to try or go for something or put yourself out there. Or maybe this has resulted in a lack of faith, of belief, because we do have the miracle card. If so, I feel spirit is coming through to encourage you to try again, to go for it, to not give up or be discouraged or to lose faith, because if things didn't work out then, it's most likely because it wasn't the right time. And they're saying, but now is the right time. Just because it didn't work out then doesn't mean it's not going to work out now. If we are encouraging you to move forward, to take action, it's because we know that things are going to work out. They might not unfold in the way that you expect it to, because universe has its own ways. It sees and knows more than us. So what we may think could be the perfect way for something to happen might not be the perfect way. Universe might know of a better way. So how things play out might not be in the way that you envision it, but you will get the reward that you were hoping for. It will beat your standards and it will exceed your expectations. That's why we have the miracle card, because it will feel like a miracle. It will feel sort of like something out of this world. And I'm not sure if this will be the case for everyone, but I do feel like some of you could be feeling discouraged, unmotivated, possibly even fatigued because there is a lack of faith. It's kind of this feeling of hopelessness, and that's draining so much energy out of you. So it's okay to believe. It's okay to have faith and to hope. I also feel like a lot of you guys are just spending a lot of time chilling about. It's not that you feel discouraged or unmotivated. You just feel called to rest, to lay down, to take naps. Oh, and if all of a sudden you feel this need to take a nap and it's not due to any medical conditions, don't resist that need to take that nap, because it's when we sleep that we receive the most downloads. It's when we sleep that we are the most receptive, because we're not up in our heads. And that's when spirit, our higher self, or the higher self of other people can come through to communicate with us. So if you feel the need to take a nap, it might be spirit's way of nudging you to be in the receptive mode because they want to communicate with you. And it's often the case that when we communicate with spirit in our dreams, or we interact with other souls in our dreams, we might not remember those interactions when we wake up, but what I'm sensing here is that even if you don't remember the dream or what happened in the dream, you will still have this knowing. So you might know that you talked with someone, or that you connected with a spirit guide in a dream, or it's possible that if, let's say, you were worried about something and then all of a sudden you go to sleep, take a nap, when you wake up, that worry has dissipated, or you feel less worried, you feel less anxious, and it's because you were either reassured by spirit that everything was going to be okay in your dreams, or maybe spirit gave you a solution or the answer to your worries or your problems. And so when you wake up, even though you might not consciously be aware of what those answers were, or that reassurance, guidance, whatever it may be, that information is stored within you. And so when it is time, it will be revealed to you. And that might leave you with that knowing that everything is going to be okay. I hope that made sense. Okay, but now I want to pull out one more clarifying card. Okay, ooh. And we have intuition, and it fell out in reverse. Yeah, so I feel like, and we have bears. Bears are showing up twice. So bears might be of importance at this moment. This might be a spirit animal of yours. Maybe this is a spirit animal that is communicating with you at this moment. Or this could be a power animal. But if you start seeing bears a lot, images of bears, or you start dreaming about bears, then that might be another way that spirit or the soul lets you know that it is them coming through. So to pay attention. But bears are reminding me of like hibernation, and that's reminding me of the hermit in the tarot. The hermit represents a period of introspection, self-reflection, contemplation, and solitude. So some of you might currently be in hermit mode. And this hermit mode might have been required in order for you to, again, be in the receptive mode, gain clarity, receive information. And I feel like it was also needed in order for you to release resistance, because my attention keeps being pulled towards the miracle card, and I feel like spirit or the universe was trying to deliver miracles, let's say, to you, but it could be that your logical thinking or possibly your doubts, your worries were creating resistance, and I wouldn't say blocking these miracles, but they were not allowing them to fully manifest or be as prevalent. And so spirit, even your soul or your higher self, might have felt encouraged to find a way to get you in that receptive mode, to release that resistance. And being in this hermit mode might have been the way, or being in this chillaxed, restful kind of vibe. Yeah, because with the intuition card being in reverse, I feel like you guys are super intuitive. You're very connected with your intuition. We were speaking about all these clair abilities at the beginning, but it might be the case that you often doubt your intuition. You often doubt what you perceive, what you feel, what comes through for you. Some of you might have even created this habit of brushing off your intuition or possibly synchronicities or signs as mere coincidences. And that in itself is invalidating your intuitive knowing and or abilities and your connection to source. So you are being asked to trust more in your intuition, or at least give yourself, I'm not sure if this would be the correct phrase, but kind of like give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Don't just brush it off. Don't just ignore it. Be open to the possibility that it could be a sign or a message from spirit. And I assure you that the more open you become, the more you will receive confirmation and validation. And not just only through signs and synchronicities, but you will see tangible, concrete proof or confirmation of what you have been intuitively picking up on. And being reminded of the phrase or the idiom, you can guide a horse to a river, but you can't force the horse to drink from the river. So cooperation from your part is required. You know, universe, source, this soul can be doing their part, doing all they can to reach out to you. But if you shut the door, if you make yourself unavailable, then source, spirit, this soul won't force you to open your door because they respect your free will. So all they can do or they will do is just keep on knocking. Also, with this card falling out in reverse, I feel like this hermit phase is coming to an end. So a lot of you could be coming out of this hermit mode, or you're being encouraged to come out of this hermit mode. Because like mentioned previously, I feel like for a lot of you, Spirit is really encouraging you to take some type of action. And you'll know if this message is meant for you, because this is for those of you who have been wondering whether to take that next step, or do have some goal or dream in mind. Because we did receive the message or the word chosen at the beginning, maybe some of you have been fantasizing or daydreaming about applying somewhere, applying for a job or auditioning, applying to a school, a course. And I just heard a ringing in my left ear. And oftentimes high-pitched noises or ringing in the ears is one way that Spirit lets us know that they are present or that they are communicating with us. Of course, that's not the same thing as tinnitus. So if you don't have tinnitus and you experience that, then it could be a sign that Spirit is coming through. But what was I saying? Yes, then this could be Spirit's way to encourage you to go for it, to apply, to take action. These dreams, they can't happen unless you take some action towards it. These goals, they can be accomplished, but it does need your participation. So don't be afraid to shoot for the stars. Don't be afraid to go for your dreams. Because even though it might seem far-fetched to your logical mind, even though it might seem impossible or the odds might look like they are against you, Spirit is saying, only we know what is possible and what isn't. So if we say you can, if we say it's possible, it's because we know that there is a way. Our logic only knows what it has been taught. And what we know is what is part of this 3D reality, which is such a dense and constricted dimension. And the universe functions on all dimensions. So don't limit yourself by what you know, because there's so much more out there. You'll be surprised, and you will be surprised. Okay, but now I'm going to pull out a mini chakra card. Ooh, and we have the higher heart chakra. So this is not the heart chakra. This energy center is actually right above the heart chakra. And the higher heart is the energy center that allows us to connect to, you can say, to our higher self. It is the direct link to our higher self. I also feel like the higher heart is the energy center where our inner child resides. So I feel like this is saying, once again, believe. Don't limit yourself. Go for it. Try. The very least, try. Give yourself an opportunity. If something inspires you, if something motivates you, if it encourages you, don't shut it out from your life through dismissing it, avoiding it, ignoring it, or believing that it's not for you because it feels too good to be true. No, give yourself the opportunity to experience the magic. So definitely you guys are receiving a lot of downloads. You're receiving a lot of messages during this time. Your intuition is really going to be speaking to you. A lot of what you are going to perceive, feel, or have this knowing of might not be something tangible, might not be something that you will immediately see proof of. So it will require trust on your part, and it will require for you to be open and for you to be receptive. Once again, I'm being reminded of the phrase benefit of the doubt. If you're still a bit skeptic, okay, universe is respecting that. You don't immediately have to accept it and have this blind faith for it or trust. You can give it the benefit of the doubt. At least be open to the possibility. Play with the universe is what they want to say. Have fun. Once again, this is reminding me of the inner child. Be playful. Once again, I'm being reminded of soul connections. The experiences that come with soul connections are so unique to the connection itself. They often cannot be compared, which is why I often hold myself back from labeling any type of connection, because I feel like that limits the connection itself, or it limits you from experiencing the connection to its fullest. So don't exert a lot of energy in trying to make sense of what you are experiencing, because our logical thinking might not find a reason or an explanation for it, because this is out of the 3D. It's on a whole other level, whole other dimension. So yeah, just be open, take note of it, and see what resonates. Of course, if there's something that you feel uncomfortable with, then you can always let spirit know. I'm thinking of like clear abilities. You know, if there's an energy that you do not want to communicate with or connect with because it does not feel comfortable to you, then you can state that. You can let spirit know. If you feel like you're being bombarded with messages and it's becoming overwhelming for you, then you can let spirit know to slow down or to give you a little break. Remember, you are part of source, so you can also state your boundaries with spirit. You can create your own safe space. Yeah. The higher heart is also making me think of communicating through your heart space, communicating soul to soul. So definitely I feel like there is a soul connection or a spiritual connection, and your soul is communicating with this other soul at this moment. There's constant communication between your soul and another soul. So if you ever want to actively communicate to spirit or possibly to this other soul, I feel like centering your awareness on your heart space or your higher heart chakra could help with facilitating communication between you and spirit or this other soul. Because I feel like that is the center of communication for you guys. Yeah, looking at the number 33, the phrase life path 3 just came to mind. So you could be a life path 3, or this soul that you are connecting with could have a life path 3. Yeah. So now I'm going to move into the last segment of this reading. So for this segment, I will give space for you to receive 3 direct messages. The first message will be coming from your spirit team. The second message from your higher self. And the third message will be coming from anyone who you intend to receive a message from at this moment. So this could be an angel, an archangel, an ancestor, an ascended master, a loved one who is on the other side, or the higher self of someone who is currently incarnated in this physical 3D. So you could be receiving a direct message from this soul we were speaking about, or the higher self of this divine counterpart. But I will now give you a moment to set your intentions for whom you want to receive a message from, as well as ask any question that you feel called to ask at this moment. Hopefully you'll receive a direct answer. Okay, but I will first start off with a message from your spirit team. Oh, these are homemade cards that have quotes from the animated series Adventure Time. Okay, that was quick. Aww. And we have, "You're a beautiful flower and I love to watch you grow." And this was said by the character Jake. And it's interesting because you guys chose the flowers. So flowers might be of importance. Maybe that's another symbol that your spirit team uses to communicate with you, or to let you know that it is them who is coming through. So whenever you receive flowers, or you happen to stumble upon a flower or flowers that you find very beautiful, then know that this is spirits or your spirit team's way of gifting you flowers. It's coming from your spirit team. It could also be their way of reminding you how beautiful you are, that you are beautiful inside and out, and that you are doing well, that you are making progress, that you are growing, evolving, and transforming, or that you are on the right path. Okay, but I want to pull out another message. Okay, and we have, "Like being okay with everybody making mistakes around me, like mind my own stuff more." And this was said by the character Princess Bubblegum. And I feel like pulling out one more message, so let's see. There we have it. Ooh, interesting. I think this fell out for another group as well. I can't remember which one. But we have the message, "That's against my alignment." And this was said by the character Finn. Ooh, I feel like this is reassurance from spirit that yes, if something doesn't feel right to you, if you feel uncomfortable with how spirit is communicating with you, then you can set your boundaries. You can let them know. They want to reassure you that you can be stern with them. You can let them know what you are okay with and what you are not comfortable with. And definitely, you can also set intentions for who it is that you want to connect with at this moment, and who you are not okay with allowing into your space. Okay? Spirit will not get mad with you. They respect you and they respect your free will. And I feel called to say that you can call them back. Like if you need a break from communicating or connecting with spirit, you can state that. And when you're ready to receive messages again, you can let them know. You can call them back again. Yeah, respect. There is mutual respect here between you and your spirit team. Okay, but now I'm going to pull out a message from your higher self. Ooh, interesting. So we have, "Care about the way you feel. Practice the art of allowing and guide yourself in a more unconditional way." And I love how we have this image of projecting, because I feel this kind of goes hand in hand with the miracle card. You can bring your visions or your dreams into reality. And I feel like this is also speaking about perception and beliefs. We project our beliefs into our reality. So if there's limiting beliefs, that can affect how you experience your reality. This is also reminding me of the third eye chakra. Okay, but there we have it. Ooh, so some of you could be experiencing clairvoyance, seeing or receiving information through your mind's eye or through visions. Okay, but do I want to pull out another card? I'm going to pull out another card to receive one more message from your higher self. I'm noticing a lot of pink or peachy salmon colors. I just pointed that out in case it was important for some of you guys. Okay, but ooh, notice the signs with the message. Notice the signs you've been receiving. It's not mere coincidence, but a special message just for you. What more confirmation and reassurance do you guys want? I mean, this is basically what the whole reading was about. Can spirit be any louder or clearer? Notice the signs. They're not just coincidences. Okay, but now I'm going to pull out some written messages that are coming from the one who you intended to receive a message from at this moment. So let's see. What do they have to say to you right now? So these two. Okay, this one. And I feel like one more. This one. I like one more, sorry. I have to follow my gut instincts. Okay, this one. So there's so much noise right now. If you hear squawky noise, those are my neighbor's feather buddies. Okay, but ooh, for the first message we have, do you hear my call? I am here. More confirmation. Someone is trying to communicate with you. Oh, interesting. If I love myself, I love you. If I love you, I love myself. And this is a quote by Rumi. I just felt called to say that someone wants to reassure you that they do love you. They love you so very much. Okay. There's so much noise interruption right now, and I feel like that's an example of what happens when this being here tries to connect or communicate with you. Like every time they try to communicate something to you, there is some type of interruption or interference. So just know that this being here is trying their very best to send you messages to communicate with you. Okay, so we have no. Aw, every little thing you do is magic. Oops. It'll be all right. And this written message is hanging right here on the edge of this tin jar, and I keep looking at it, so I'm going to take it. Time does not heal the internally wounded. Life does. So live. Okay. I feel called to say that this energy over here, they have a lot of love for you and respect, and they don't mind reassuring you, letting you know what you mean to them, how much they love you, and they will not hold back on holding you accountable. Some might see this as tough love, but that's not the vibe that I'm getting. This energy is simply very honest. They won't sugarcoat things or lie to you to stroke your ego or to feed illusions or to keep you from discomfort, especially if they know that keeping you from this discomfort, keeping you in your comfort zone is causing you harm. So I would say this is sincere love rather than tough love. Okay, but those are all the messages we have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it brought some guidance, some clarity. If it did, then please leave a like or a comment. If you are new to this channel, and you want to stick around for more readings with me, Kim, then please do subscribe. I do offer personal readings. All the information is in my website, and the link to my website can be found in the description box down below. Thank you so much for watching until the very end, and thanks to all of you who took a moment to watch the advertisements. That is the most simplest way to support me and to support this channel, so muchas gracias. Yeah, but that is all for now. Wishing you magical and wonderful moments to come, and until the next moment, bye bye!